Hey everybody, Nick here, and today we're going to do a little disassembly and maintenance on this little guy. This is the CKF Peace Duke, or Peace Duke if you want to say it in the English way. So anyways, let's go on ahead and take this guy apart. First thing though, I want to say is that right now this knife has an action which is the detent is so stiff that it's stupid. It's a problem, and so I feel like maybe, hopefully, ideally, this disassembly will help that to be no longer the case. But I don't know. We're gonna find out here. So let's take one apart. I actually had that same feeling though when I handled it Blade HQ way back when. So we will find out. Oh, that's killing me. Right here we can see free spinning pivot and non-tooled on the other side. So this may be over before it begins. But let's give it a try with some gloves here. Before I go any further, though, I want to remember to thank my buddy Andrew for donating this knife and a bunch of other ones to the channel here, because, well, that's a wonderful thing for him to do. These knives will be sold to Patreon patrons or somebody else as soon as the review is over, and the donation proceeds will go to charity. All right, so there we go. I was able to pop this out using a little extra friction from a rubber-gloved finger. So there you go. And now let's just pop out these two other screws, and we should be good to go, he says optimistically. And maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to do something about that action. Is that free spinning too? No, it's just a very... That's not a great screw. I see. All right. I'm pulling out. Okay, it's a Chicago screw, and I just pulled out the pin. That's fine. That just means what I'm going to want to do is go with this one from this side. And there we go. All righty. Problem solved. Case closed. We can take the knife apart now. Here we are. So, blade right here is in M390 steel, which is actually kind of impressive. And we can see here we've got some variety of captive bearing or another. We got a fair amount of internal milling, which is actually honestly a bit surprising because this is a chubby bunny of a knife. That's for damn sure. And it's also fairly heavy, even with this copious milling. So, yeah. And the tent ball, which is... just giving me a crazy freaking detent. Oh, there's a little bit of a burr, it feels like there. That's a little strange. All right, well, let's pop this out. Let's see what we can do here. Go ahead and put some rubbing alcohol here onto a little cleaning wipe. And go to town on the scale here. Looks like there's some nasty grease or another in there. Somebody might have hit this guy with WD-40 or something like that at some point in the past. Actually, it looks like it's behind that screw, so that washer, so I'm going to see if I can't just pop that out of there. Well, that's one approach, certainly. I succeeded, that's for sure. Alrighty. Well then. You know, I'm always fine with ballistic disassembly if it gets the job done, right? Alrighty, so I'm going to use this little Q-tip guy here to go around the outside edge. Yeah, pull that out. Beautiful. What's that action there? It's just part of the milling. Alright, whatever. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side here. And actually, I'll go ahead and pop this guy out again. Come on. There we go. Again, not strictly speaking needed, but I just want the knife in good condition. So, Peace Duke. They've spelled it like peace, as in the kingdom was blessed by many years of peace, and Duke, as in the Dukes of Hazzard. But Peace Duke is Russian for somebody who is a bullshitter. So, yeah, they're having some fun with it, that's for sure. Yeah, there we go. That's the side. So when I first saw this knife and when I first saw mention of it, like the CKF Peace Duke, like what the heck kind of... Oh, nice. Well freaking done. So CKF is definitely doing their part to troll the non-Russian speaking communities just a little bit here. That said, the knife doesn't appear to be full of it, so you know what? That's probably a good thing. Alrighty, let's go on ahead and continue wiping with the wiping everywhere. Pop that through there. That doesn't want to go any further, so that's fine. I'm actually putting this knife, I'm taking this knife apart and doing this maintenance now rather than later on, because this knife is about to get sent over to Frankie and to the bud. And so, you know, I want to make sure that the knife is in decent enough shape for him. And it's, you know, and my buddy Andrew, when he sent me this load of knives, said basically you're going to want to clean and maintain each of them because they've been, you know, packed in some variety of oil, thick oil or grease or something like that. So it's something to keep in mind. And my computer's blowing up. That's okay. This morning, Nick disassembled and maintained his freaking laptop. Blowing up as in lots of messages, not like explosions. Because I had a drive failure and I wanted to replace it with something bigger anyways. So, there you go. Seems to be working freaking okay. Yet another case, all those stupid proprietary screws. Oh my god, Apple's freaking pentalobular screws. May ugly knife companies never find out about that little innovation. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hit the inside of this guy just to make sure I get anything out of there. Hit the inside of the pivot here, and then I believe we are pretty much good to go. This knife is kind of straightforward, I'll say that much. Alrighty, so going to go ahead and use, here we go. Gonna go ahead and put a little drop of oil on there and on there. That's maybe a little too much already, but that's okay. Who would I be if I wasn't using too much damned oil? At least according to Bird, that wouldn't be me. Alrighty, pop this on here. Just spin the bearing a little bit, get some of that oil distributed up onto it. Go ahead and drop a stop pin in there, why not? Little bugger. This is the reason I don't like wearing gloves. There we go. Tighten that up a little bit there. Why is this not? There we go. Finally freaking went home. Okay. Perfect. Freaking perfect. No, don't fall out. Bad. Bad. Okay, I'm going to oil the detent ball hole pretty liberally. And actually, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just see if I can knock down that burr a little bit on the detent ball hole. Because I worry that that's actually the cause of my issue. So I'm going to use a medium shopmaker rod here. And just try and clear that off a little bit. Because there is absolutely a nasty burr going on right there. And that's probably... Yikes. Gotta be careful here not to scratch up the blade too much. But that absolutely needs to be repaired. Could also do this with a sandpaper potentially or something like that, but whatever they were doing here to drill this hole wasn't brilliant. And let's wipe that off, see if we're any better off. Maybe a little bit. Good. Keep going here. Sorry about this, guys. I know this isn't the most interesting thing to watch, but you know what? It's a fact of life. Let's see here. It's been rainy as heck lately here in the Michigan. It's It's May 4th when I'm filming this, so it'll give you a sense of just how long my videos stay in purgatory between filming and airing. I feel like that's going to be better. But that absolutely explains the harshness of this action, and should make this knife a much more pleasurable experience to use in the future. Because holy crap. Okay. Now, with that done, let's go ahead and oil up the detent ball path here. That was maybe a little much, but you know what? This knife needs it. Get this random piece of hair off of there. And drop that in there. Okay. Hopefully that'll make a good difference for life. But if it doesn't, I did my best, you know. Could probably go back at that with more sandpaper or something like that and do a better job of it. But for the moment, I think it'll do. And I don't want to overdo it either, because having too little detent or too soft a detent is absolutely just as big of an issue here. And of course, because the knife doesn't sit flat on the table, this doesn't want to go home. Okay, there you go. That's good to go. Probably should put in this washer, a bearing race, that is. And let's just make sure that the... Yeah. And put a little bit on there. Actually, I may just end up having to put this, yeah. That's okay. There's more than one way to rebuild a knife. And that's one of those ways, right there. Okay, so let's go on ahead and, since every element of this knife is free spinning, I'm just going to go ahead and not use any Loctite here. Hopefully that won't be a big problem. We'll find out over time. Maybe it'll loosen up, maybe it won't. But, oh, that is deeply ugly, the fact that every element of this knife is free spinning. This is one of CKF's older pieces. In fact, I feel like this is one of the knives that put CKF kind of on the map. Or at least it was around the time when they first became of any prominence in the knife community. And so at that level, it is in my mind sort of a prototypical CKF knife. Whether that's fair or not, I don't know. But whatever it is what it is. And we pop this guy loose. Did I need the bigger driver here? Yeah, I did. All right, good. And again, I'm not going to use any Loctite here. That's not ideal. I could probably get away with a little bit, but this freaking free spinning pivot is just so ugly I can hardly see straight. But hopefully, that's better. Oh, yeah. The tent isn't too soft. See, it's days like this where everything just feels okay, you know? I've taken the action from being downright painful to being strong. This detent is absolutely still strong, but much more reasonable. All by doing a little bit of deburring. So, it's deburred for deburred? Is it going about shot IV? No? All right. Yeah, whatever. Centering's good. Knife is just much cleaner in terms of its poppability there. Nice. Can't argue with that. Alrighty, so there you go. That's the CKF Peace Duke. I hope you didn't find me being a Peace Duke and describing my process here. Lord, no ramp on this clip. Yeah, hope that you found this interesting. That you have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.